So in case you didn't know, The Batman comes out this week. It's a grim, gritty, and gripping super noir. The Batman ranks among The Dark Knight's bleakest and most thrillingly ambitious live-action outings. It's currently sitting fresh at 86%. That's with 177 reviews. Audience score not available yet. That's typical. They've changed that since Captain Marvel came out. I'm thinking it's going to be a good movie, but I think that people are going to be divided on it, and that's because of the 3-hour time, and I think this is the first time we're going to get a Batman like this. And what do I mean by that? I mean we're going to actually get a detective story, which is the first time that I think they've done that in the movies. And it will probably be, at least I'm hoping, the most comic accurate Batman. Yeah, that'd be very nice if we could get that. I'm not saying the Bale movies are bad or the Keaton movies are bad. I love those movies. But let's be honest, they weren't detective stories. And I'd really like to see that done on the big screen, and I think we're finally going to get that. At least what the reviews are saying, like this one down here. This person gave it a bad score, but the common thing going around is that it's inspired by David Fincher's movies. And what do I mean by that? I mean Seven and The Zodiac. And I'm very, very happy about that. I'm looking forward to that. That's what I want to see in a Batman movie. I'm going to be honest. I want to see that. So I'm hoping it's good. I'm going in. I don't want to have high expectations, but I'm going in thinking that this is going to be a good Batman movie. That's what I'm thinking. It's what I'm feeling. But I think a lot of people that just know the character through the movies might be a little thrown off by this. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. I hope everyone enjoys it because I'd like them to keep doing detective stories with Batman. You know, he's in a comic book called Detective Comics. I'm just saying. He's also called the world's greatest detective in the comics. You'd never know that if you only watch the movies. So, I wanted to see what some of the reviews are saying. And there's a couple that are quite hilarious. Nothing about it being, like, woke or anything. But apparently, it's just too depressing. And when we're coming off of 2 years in a global pandemic and people are dying, how dare they make this depressing Batman? I'd be kidding. Here's one from the Seattle Times. The Batman review. Robert Pattinson swoops down in this very dark and long reboot. Let's take a look at some of the things that she's saying here. Behold, the Batman, which is all of these things, depressing, dark, and endless. I think it's about 7 hours long, to be precise. But I may have blacked out towards the end. I don't know about you. But this particular time in history does not seem like the moment for a movie that will leave you A, miserable, and B, wondering why nobody in Gotham seems to have heard of light bulbs. Your mileage may vary, but for me, who loved both the Tim Burton and Christopher Nolan Batman universes, this feels like an earnest but bloated misfire. In Reeves' film, the world is burning, but we're not given much of a reason to care or really enough light to even see it. So, it's depressing. I mean, Batman is a depressed guy. He lives a very depressing life. I'm just saying. And the light stuff I find hilarious. I mean, if you want to see a lit up Batman, go watch Batman and Robin. And he's supposed to be dark. To me, sounds good. I got another one here from the Detroit News. Let's take a look at this one. Director and co-writer Matt Reeves has scaled this Batman to let in as little light as possible, both tonally and aesthetically. This is a movie that exists in the shadows of shadows. That it's coming out at a time when the world is in a particular grim state. 2 years into a global pandemic, war raging overseas? Isn't keeping with its mood bored? This is the world, the Batman says. So why should Gotham City be any different? And he goes on to say, how about escapism or entertainment? I mean, that's what this is. But apparently, because the world has been a depressing place for the past 2 years, we can't have this Batman movie. I mean, what do you expect from a Batman movie? He's a depressed guy. He's not a happy-go-lucky dude. All of the Batman movies have been pretty dark to an extent. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to this movie. I just find it funny. Like, they're actively getting down. He knocks down Riddler because he's disturbing. He says it right here. He's a deranged psychopath in an oversized army green coat and a leather mask that looks copped from the Gotham City bondage gear outlet. And he's disturbing in ways we're not used to from Batman movie villains. I mean, there's a lot of really disturbing Batman villains in the comics. Joker's done some pretty crazy shit. And then, there's like Victor Zsasz, who goes around murdering people, and then he cuts his own skin with a knife. I mean, like, there's some pretty brutal shit that happens in Batman comics. So it sounds like we're finally going to get that here. Like, I'm looking forward to this version of the Riddler. Then there's this, pretty much saying that the film is depressing, but comic fans will argue that this is the Batman that most closely matches the soul and spirit of the Batman character and what he represents. He is vengeance, as we're reminded many times throughout the film. But in catering to that mindset, the Batman alienates crowds who don't read the comics, who just want to enjoy the latest installment of a long-running, immensely popular superhero franchise. It's tough to have it both ways, and Reeves doesn't even try. This one's for the hardcore fans. Don't like it? Go watch a Marvel movie. All right, perfect. I'm liking this. So, already this guy's bad review, who gave it a C, has sold me on the movie. And then there's this one, which doesn't come off as a review. Is the Batman kid friendly, but she submitted her review to Rotten Tomatoes. So her negative review on the fact that this movie isn't kid friendly, brought the score down. And I'd like to point out that the reason that she's upset is that the movie isn't like a Marvel movie. Because it's no secret that she prefers Marvel over DC. I was missing some humor to lighten the mood. There's some dry humor that I chuckled at, but I found myself laughing more at Batman's cumbersome cape that often looked like it was tripping him. She prefers the joke factory over at Marvel. Is it kid-friendly? No. That's pretty much it. And that's why she submitted this to Rotten Tomatoes and gave it a bad review. So that's cool. So to sum it up, it's knocked down because it's for the hardcore Batman fans. It's knocked down because it's not a kid-friendly Marvel joke shitfest. And it's knocked down because people are dying in the world right now, and we're just coming off of a pandemic. This is where we're at. But it's still at an 86. Critics don't really matter that much, but I do like to see what they're saying, because these are early reviews, by the way. So usually it's the shillest of the shills. I think it's going to be a good movie. I'm hoping it's a good movie. I just found these funny. Apparently, it's just too soon for this Batman. Let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for this? Are you going to go see it? What do you expect? What are you thinking? Do you think this sounds like a good Batman movie? Do you not think it's sounding like a good Batman movie? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you would, please consider subscribing. A lot of you watch and aren't subscribed. Maybe now take the time and let me earn your subscription. Also, make sure you hit that notification bell. Share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Throw a like up. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, make sure to follow me over on Twitch. I do watch parties, play video games over there. They're always fun. Follow me over there and come hang out. Also, make sure you subscribe to YellowFlash, my other channel. There's a link to that in the description as well. I do a lot of live streams over there that I don't do on this channel, usually smaller and a little bit more personal. So make sure you follow me over there and sign up.